Hey guys, it's Holly, and can you believe that I am on the set of the latest secret Marvel project right now? Just look at this set, it's amazing. It's just a Christmas miracle. So today I really wanted to do something fun and really utilize my new green screen that I bought, and something that I've been wanting to do for a while now is actually rank all of the Marvel movies. I know I often get asked to rank Harry Potter and Star Wars, and Marvel, I feel like there's too many of them to do sort of like in a short segment, so I wanted to make this as an entire video, but instead I thought I would spice it up and actually rank the Marvel movies purely based on their Lego sets. Nothing to do with the actual film itself. I don't care about the storytelling, I don't care about the characters, I don't care about the sets, the CGI, nothing. It's just based on their Lego sets. So here's the tier list I've made. Starting at the bottom, we have the might as well not exist tab. And it's exactly what you think it is. These movies might as well not exist because Lego just didn't do anything from them. And if they did do anything from them, it's just really basic and really boring. Next up, we have the Lego DC tab, which is honestly pretty similar. You know, Lego DC, I love it, but we just don't get anything. It's like the long lost sort of like child or something that often gets like neglected and doesn't have much love. Sort of like the middle child, or what I presume a middle child's life to be like. In the middle, we've got the Nintendo Wii. Now I can see a lot of people sort of yelling at me saying the Nintendo Wii was an amazing console. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but the Nintendo Wii had so many issues. Its performance was lacking. It missed out on so many features. At least my one often crashed even when playing things like the Lego games. So for that reason, the Nintendo Wii's in the middle. Second to the top, we have the favorite child tier. I'm sure a lot of people know what that sort of feels like. I don't. I feel like this tier sort of encapsulates, like, it really got a lot of love, it got a lot of special treatment, a lot of time, effort, care, attention, but it just wasn't great. I mean, it still could be better, like it was really, really good, but it wasn't as good as it could have been, and that is why the top tier I have called sliced bread, because, you know, a lot of these waves were the greatest thing since sliced bread. There was just so much love, therefore these movies are just chef's kiss spectacular. And I feel like we really need to define the tiers first. So to start off with, I want to put down Captain America, the First Avenger. This film just flew under the radar. Even in 2021, even though we've had an Infinity Saga wave, Captain America, the First Avenger, got nothing. Literally nothing. The closest we got was a what if set. And even then, the only thing that resembles the First Avenger is Red Skull. Like, it just might as well not exist. Like, no one cares about the First Avenger when you look at it from Lego's point of view. So what I want to put in favorite child is actually Age of Ultron. I feel like Age of Ultron had a really solid wave of sets. Like, I look back at it, you had the first Hulkbuster, which was such a great thing at the time. You also had that really cool Quinjet, not to mention the first ever Avengers Tower, which was absolutely sick. Plus, you had an exclusive Quicksilver, which was really cool. Even some of the smaller sets were pretty solid, not to mention the silver, whatever that set is called, Centurion. Therefore, Age of Ultron, favorite child. Coming back down to the Wii tab, I'm gonna throw a new one in there, and that is actually No Way Home. No Way Home was interesting because I was so excited for it. They all looked great, but I feel like I was more in love with the figures than the actual build, so much so that I rebuilt the Sanctum Sanctorum set. And here's the thing with No Way Home as well. Even though we got 3 sets in that wave, 2 of them are branded as inspired by Homecoming and Far From Home. So really, we only got 1. It was really just an excuse to put those suits in a set so that kids had them and could play with them. Now, as for Lego DC, I feel like this is the only time that Captain Marvel for me will not be at the bottom of a tier list. The sets that we got 3 in total. One of them was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which the build for that set honestly was pretty cool. It's the only place that you can get Maria Rambeau, which honestly is a crime. Then you also got like one set with a Skrull, but to me, that set doesn't really show anything interesting from Captain Marvel. Like, I feel like the movie honestly was kind of plain, and that set, you know, really encapsulates that because it was kind of plain. And honestly, you should just buy the poly bag. I mean, this one's kind of a given, might as well not exist. Thor the Dark World, again, it's just completely neglected, which sucks because we got this really cool Lego fight poster with, you got Malekith there, you've got Lady Sith, you've got the only version of Jane Foster. This one again might come as a sort of surprise. Nintendo Wii, I'm throwing Black Widow in because Black Widow, again, sort of like Captain Marvel, was interesting because you got a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set. However, this one was a wider release since it was sort of like the COVID time, so you could sort of throw it in, just sell it to the US, and it was all good. I loved the Red Guardian figure in that set. It looks amazing, as well as White Suit Black Widow, the Taskmaster figure. Even though that set really didn't appear in the film, I love the design of it. I also love the box art, and I wish I had one for myself because I think it's really, really cool. And then the helicopter set, again, was interesting. I mean, it's more accurate to the film, even though it's not at the same time, and like Yelena could have been better, but I love the Black Widow outfit. It's honestly the best Black Widow figure we've ever gotten. You get Taskmaster again. I feel like Black Widow honestly did pretty well in the Lego department for that film and those sets. Now, as for sliced bread, this should come as no surprise. Civil War. Civil War honestly had one of, if not the best line of Lego sets. The airport battle was spectacular. You then also got the tanker truck takedown as a sort of spoiler set with Spider-Man. I loved the fact that they did that, and I really hope they utilize that concept of releasing a spoiler set later on after the film's been released, because that set had great figures, has the best version of Hawkeye in it, as well as an exclusive Spider-Man suit, a pretty cheap way to get Vision back in the day again, which was absolutely brilliant. I love the Civil War wave so much, and it is what I want to see from Lego Marvel, though I know that there is just too many movies these days for them to sort of replicate that again. But Civil War has such a special place in my heart, and it's well deserved. Civil War is the creme de la creme of like Marvel movies. If we're ranking by Lego set, it's just the perfect one. I love it. One that you'll probably think is quite strange is Doctor Strange. Now, this one, I was tossing between Nintendo Wii and Favorite Child, and honestly, I think at the end of the day, I have to go Favorite Child. Now, this is quite interesting because Doctor Strange only had one set. Even Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is going to have one set, but there was something about that Sanctum set that really speaks to me, I guess. I really like the design of it. The Sanctum looks incredible. The figure designs were incredible. All of them are exclusive as well, which is a really big win. And while it didn't really depict literally anything from the film, I don't know, there's just something about that Sanctum set. I love the look of it. I love the sort of like vignette diorama thing. It really did Doctor Strange justice. The only thing that would have put it into the sliced bread tier if there was another set. On the other hand, there's the original Iron Man. Now again, I was tossing up DC for this one, but despite that, might as well not exist. We had nothing from the Iron Man film until 2021, and even then, what we got was one Infinity Saga set, which, don't get me wrong, the set is great, but there is one glaring problem, and that is that it is so out of scale. Marvel just wanted to make this cool, giant, like, playable mech, and as a result, we got something that doesn't even accurately, properly resemble the Ironmonger. It is too big, and then we have that beautiful Iron Man suit. I absolutely love it, but just Iron Man got so neglected, which is such a shame because that is one of probably the best, I think, in memory Marvel movies. I feel like a lot of people love it. Thor Ragnarok. Now, I love this film, but the sets just, it was something else. All right, like, look, the appeal, again, like No Way Home, was the figures. There is no doubt about that, especially with the Hulk arena clash. You look at that set and there is nothing to it. It is just a brick wall. The build is so poor. It is so sad, but that set is worth so much. Why? Because of the exclusive Big Fig Hulk, the Grandmaster, the amazing Loki figure. I love the face print of that figure. It's amazing, as well as the exclusive Thor. It's amazing for exclusive things, but the actual contents, it's not there. However, the Ultimate Battle for Asgard, I quite like that. The fact that we got the ship, geez, that would not happen if Lego knew what that was, but I love that ship design. It's awesome. Hela's crown looks incredible. Valkyrie as well in that set, as well as Thor. even though he's not accurate, I don't really mind. I love the builds of this set. It's really cool, so much so that I went back and bought it for myself. Haven't built it yet, but I'm really excited too, and I just wish that the Hulk Arena Clash was more like that one, because I feel like it would have been better. SpiderMan Homecoming. Now, this is just, it's a disappointment. It really is. I look back at SpiderMan Homecoming, right, and I just think to myself, what went wrong? Because why did we have to waste an entire Lego set on masked bank robbers? Yeah, the figures are cool. Yeah, they're unique. Do I care about them though? No. Are there better things we could have done? Yes, absolutely. We could have had an entire scene from the Washington Monument. We could have gotten the yellow jacket Spider-Mans, which we are still waiting for to this day. Even the fact that we are still waiting for the homemade suit makes my blood boil, because that is such an important costume to the franchise and to Spider-Man as a character. Like, come on. However, what wasn't a real shame was Infinity War. This wave of sets was so good. I loved the fact that you sort of had to like collect one Infinity Stone with like each of the sets that sort of like went through the progress of the film. While it was frustrating because the only way to get the gauntlet at the time was to buy every single set, I loved that fact. It sort of made like you were hunting them down, collecting them all. I thought it was really, really cool. The Sanctum. I love this set so much. I didn't think it was going to be as good, you know, especially with the inflated price tag. Didn't think it would be worth it. It was worth it. I love that set so much. The figures are beautiful. The design of it is beautiful. It's what I love most about Lego sets. The rest of the sets as well in the wave looked amazing. You also get the first appearance of the Benatar, which I think still holds up today. While the newer version of the Benatar is miles better than this one, I really like the figure selection. I love Big Thig Thanos, and I think it's a pretty good scale set. I think it was really well done. In my mind, this was the last like really solid wave of Marvel that we had until 2021. Which then leads me to Endgame. Now, I mean, at the time, I feel like we would have gone DC. However, the Infinity Saga happened, the Infinity Gauntlet, and for that reason, I want to put it in favorite child. Endgame had so much special attention. I mean, it was one of the biggest, highest grossing films of all time. It's not surprising that Lego really pumped out a lot of sets, but because of the fact that they couldn't do spoiler sets, they really wanted to do the suits, we got just a wave of nothing. But then this year rolled around and we got the final battle. I love it. Infinity Gauntlet, Benatar, just Endgame. Endgame. Next up is Black Panther. Honestly, these sets were alright. Like, they didn't look too special to me. The figures, some of them were good, some of them were really weak. I don't know. Black Panther I feel like was just really forgettable, but like, when I looked back at it, it was okay. So it's going in the middle. Eternals. This one got so much special treatment and I didn't understand it, and then I built the sets and I was like, all of these sets are really good. Not that I think that all 4 of them are worth buying. In fact, I feel like you should only really buy the biggest 2 and then buy the figures from the cheaper sets on like Bricklink or something. But the fact that all 4 of these sets were really well built, like you could buy any of them and I feel like you'd be really happy, was amazing. Eternals, I don't know how it got to sliced bread, but it deserves it. It really does. Iron Man 2, I mean, all we got was like a suitcase piece and then the suitcase suit. It's forgettable. Like, you'd forget that anything was ever there. Same with Winter Soldier. Like, all we got was a poly bag and the poly bag sucked. And honestly, I sort of feel the same about Ant-Man and the Wasp. However, the set actually had a lot more substance than anything in that bottom row. I love the Ant-Man and Wasp figures from that weird Quantum Realm set, and like, you know, it's pretty accurate to the film, it works quite well, but would it be nice to have a bit more? Like, I would have loved to have seen like the giant quantum accelerator built into it and make the set a bit bigger and not so tiny. Ant-Man has so much possibilities because of the whole scale of everything, and that also, while we're talking about Ant-Man, leads me to the first Ant-Man. While it had one set, while it had a Hank Pym suit that didn't exist, the original Ant-Man set was perfect. It took the essence of Ant-Man with like being small and having giant things and ran with it. And for that reason, I really respect Lego. I think they did a fantastic job with that original Ant-Man set. It's like Doctor Strange. While it only has one, it was really well done and had a lot of thought, time, effort, love, heart into it. Ant-Man, just, you deserve it, man. I feel like to cap out the might as well not exist, let's just chuck the original Thor in. Again, just Thor completely gets neglected in Lego form. It is really frustrating. The Avengers. This was the first ever Marvel wave to ever exist, and they did an amazing job. It is so good looking back. Like, you got that amazing original Quinjet, which I love. You get Loki's Cosmic Cube, which was such a good, small, solid, cheap set. The Avengers wave was so nice. It was so well done, and it was an amazing way to kick off what is such a spectacular and well-loved thing these days. The Avengers just... Iron Man 3. Now, look, I like the Malibu Mansion. That's it. Everything else feels like a waste. The Aldrich Killian figure looks weird. The War Machine figure is the wrong color. And then there's that, like, weird Mandarin set with like looks like a go-kart. You cannot tell me that that doesn't look like a go-kart. Guardians Volume 2. Now, while again there was no references to Ego or literally anything, these sets were really, really cool. I think they were some of the best in the wave. I feel like the way that the characters were distributed, I absolutely love. The Yondu figure is adorable. Even though like it's really tiny, I love that Milano build. I bought it. I love it. I even love the scale of it. Honestly, I think it was so cute and compact, and the figure selection was just spectacular. I absolutely love it. I really liked Guardians Volume 2. The only thing that would have made it better is actually getting Ego in any form, whether that be planet, brick built, minifigure, I don't care. I would have just loved Ego. That was the only thing that I feel like would top the Civil War wave. Finishing off the Spider-Man movies, we've got Far From Home, and this one I have to put in the middle because I think the Molten Man battle was really cool. The Venice set as well was really cool, but there was so much wasted on the Stark Jet as the final set. It's so frustrating because they could have done Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge was in the trailer. It wasn't a spoiler. Like, we knew there was going to be a battle in London. Something like that would have been so much better than just a Stark Jet. It was so boring. More recent film as well I want to place in the middle is Shang-Chi. Now, Shang-Chi could have been favorite child if that car set had literally just give me some substance in that set. That set, I look at it and I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. And then I saw the movie and I was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing with this thing? The figures I like. Again, they could have been better. It would have been nice for them to actually, like, you know, put some effort in and give at least 1 or 2 new face prints, especially for Shang-Chi himself. Other than that, I think the selection was pretty good. I love the Great Protector Dragon. It's so pretty. It's so unique. It's so beautiful. But just the car chase. And last but not least, we have, again, one of the best all-round LEGO waves of all time for Marvel, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy. The original Guardians of the Galaxy wave was spectacular. People were so nervous about this movie, whether or not it was going to be good or not, and LEGO just went all in. They were like, you know what, we're gonna risk it. Brick built Groot, amazing Milano. The Ronin figure is absolutely gorgeous. You also got the poly bag with Rocket and like a little stick baby Groot, which is adorable. I love this wave so much. They did such an amazing job, and I look back at it and it just puts a giant smile on my face because it was just so well done, so much care. LEGO took a risk and it paid off. This wave was spectacular. So that is my ranking of all of the Marvel movies based on purely their LEGO sets. Don't worry about the actual like order from like left to right. I don't care. We're just ranking them from like the 5 tier list. I really hope that since the Infinity Saga's a thing, we can finally get some more out of that bottom level because they deserve better. Like, come on. We're really not gonna do anything with the Winter Soldier. I had a lot of fun making this video, and like I said, I really want to do it for Harry Potter and Star Wars 2 in the future. But if you guys enjoyed this video for now, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.